Stop. Being average is stealing your wealth. Most think average means safe. But average compounds downward. While slightly better than average creates something banks fear. Generational wealth. Let me show you something that changed how I see money, forever. Take two people. Both 25 years old. Both making the exact same salary. Both investing the same amount every month. The only difference is one person gets average market returns. 7%. The other gets slightly above average. Just 10%. That 3% difference seems tiny, right? But here's where it gets disturbing. After 20 years, that small edge creates a gap of over $200,000. After 30 years, it's over $700,000. And after 40 years, the slightly better investor has over $1.5 million more than the average one. Same effort. Same discipline. Same starting point. But a completely different financial destiny. And this principle doesn't just apply to investing. But here's what they don't tell you. This exact same math applies to every area of your financial life. Your salary growth. Your side income. Your savings rate. Your career advancement. See, most people think average is a neutral position. Like standing still. But that's the first lie we need to destroy. Average is actually moving backwards. And this is where it gets interesting. Think about inflation for a second. If you're earning average returns, and average wage increases, you're not maintaining your position. You're losing ground. Every single year. The average American salary increase is around 3% annually. Inflation averages around 3%. That's not growth. That's a treadmill. Meanwhile, the slightly above average performer getting 5% raises is actually building real wealth. 2% real growth might sound boring. But compounded over a career? That's the difference between retiring at 65 with nothing extra, and retiring at 55 with options. But most financial advice completely ignores this math. They tell you to just save more. Spend less. Cut the lattes. And that advice isn't wrong, but it misses the most powerful lever you have. The compound effect of being consistently slightly better. Not dramatically better. Not genius level. Just consistently above the middle. If this is already clicking for you, drop a like so I know to keep breaking down these numbers. Here's where we need to challenge everything you've been told about success. The data shows something surprising. The difference between average performers and above average performers isn't talent. It isn't intelligence. It isn't even luck. Studies on wealth accumulation show the primary differentiator is consistency in small behaviors. Let me put this in perspective. The average person checks their investment accounts maybe once a quarter. Above average investors review monthly and rebalance when needed. That 15 minutes a month creates compounding advantages in portfolio optimization. The average person negotiates salary once when they're hired. Above average earners negotiate annually and document their wins throughout the year. Same job. Same company. Wildly different outcomes over a decade. The average person learns about money from random social media posts. The slightly above average person spends 30 minutes weekly on structured financial education. Not hours. 30 minutes. But those 30 minutes compound into financial literacy that prevents costly mistakes. Each of these behaviors individually seems almost pointless. But stacked together, and compounded over time, they create an insurmountable advantage. The average trap is psychological. And the real opportunity is understanding how to escape it. Most people aim for average without realizing they're doing it. They look around at what everyone else is doing, and match it. Saving 15% of income because that's the recommended number. Getting standard raises because that's what's offered. Accepting default investment options because choosing seems hard. This is called social proof, and it's destroying wealth potential across an entire generation. But here's the uncomfortable truth. When you match the crowd, you guarantee crowd results. And crowd results in America mean 64% of people living paycheck to paycheck. Crowd results mean the median retirement savings at 60 is less than $100,000. Crowd results mean working until you physically cannot work anymore. The above average aren't smarter. They just rejected the default settings earlier. They questioned the standard advice. They asked, what happens if I save 18% instead of 15%? What happens if I counter every offer? What happens if I spend 1 hour learning what the wealthy actually do with money? Think about that for a second. What default setting are you running on right now? But everything I just told you, that's just the setup. Now let me show you why this really matters, and how the math actually plays out in your favor. The compound effect of being above average doesn't add up. It multiplies. And this is how you profit from it. If you improve your investment returns by 2% through better fund selection and lower fees that compounds. If you simultaneously increase your savings rate by 3% through one successful negotiation that compounds on top of the first improvement. If you add a small side income stream that grows 10% annually that compounds on top of both. These improvements don't stack linearly. They multiply exponentially. Someone running all three optimizations isn't 30% ahead of average. After 20 years, they're potentially 300% ahead. This is what separates the financially free from the financially trapped. Not massive income. Not inheritance. Not luck. Just multiple small above average decisions compounding together over time. The wealthy understand this intuitively. That's why they obsess over seemingly small percentage differences. A 0.5% lower expense ratio. A 2% higher negotiated salary. A 3% better return through tax optimization. Each one alone seems almost not worth the effort. Together they create generational wealth. If you want to see exactly how to implement this, subscribe now because we're about to get specific. The math doesn't lie. Some improvements compound faster than others. And knowing which ones to prioritize changes everything. The highest leverage improvement most people ignore is income growth rate. Every additional percentage point of annual income growth compounds for your entire career. If you're 30 years old getting 3% raises instead of 5% raises, you're not losing 2%. You're losing the compound value of that 2% over 35 working years. We're talking hundreds of thousands in lifetime earnings from a single successful negotiation strategy. The second highest leverage is investment fee reduction. The average actively managed fund charges around 1% annually. Index funds charge around 0.03%. That 0.97% difference compounds against you every single year for decades. Over a 40-year investing career, that hidden fee can cost you over $300,000 on $1 million portfolio. But wait, there's a better way. The third, and most underrated, is tax optimization timing. Contributing to tax-advantaged accounts when your income is high, and withdrawing when it's low creates compound tax savings. Roth conversions during low-income years. tax loss harvesting during market downturns, strategic charitable giving when it creates maximum deduction value. None of these require more money. They require more awareness. So what does the wealthy do instead of chasing average? They play an entirely different game. And here's the reveal that ties everything together. Wealthy people don't try to be dramatically better at one thing. They try to be slightly better at everything that compounds. They're not getting 50% investment returns. They're getting 10% instead of 7%. They're not doubling their salary overnight. They're getting 6% raises instead of 3%. They're not eliminating all taxes. They're reducing effective tax rates by a few percentage points through legal optimization. But those small edges stack and multiply across every financial decision. This is the real wealth secret hiding in plain sight. The compound effect of being above average in multiple areas simultaneously creates exponential separation from the crowd. Not arithmetic separation. Exponential. This is why two people can start with identical situations and end up in completely different financial realities within a decade. One person optimized nothing and accepted every default. The other person made small above average decisions consistently. The same principle that makes compound interest the eighth wonder of the world applies to every financial behavior. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Every choice is either compounding for you or against you. There is no neutral. Here's your action framework for becoming above average starting this week. First, audit your defaults. Look at every automatic financial decision you've made and ask, is this average or above average? Your savings rate, your investment allocations, your fee structures, your salary negotiation frequency. Most people have never questioned these defaults. That audit alone will reveal opportunities worth thousands annually. Second, pick one high leverage improvement from today's breakdown. Income growth, fee reduction, or tax optimization. Master that one area before adding the next. Trying to optimize everything simultaneously leads to optimizing nothing. Third, create a compound tracking system. Monthly review of your above average decisions and their accumulated impact. When you see the numbers growing, you'll never go back to accepting average. The difference between where you are today and financial freedom isn't a lottery ticket. It isn't a hot stock tip. It isn't working 80-hour weeks. It's the compound effect of being consistently slightly better than average in the areas that matter most. And that's completely within your control starting right now. The math has always been available. The data has always been clear. The only question is whether you'll act on it, or scroll to the next video, and stay exactly where you are. Now you understand why being better than average compounds into wealth. The math is undeniable. Small consistent improvements multiply exponentially over time. Subscribe to Unbanked Minds if you want more breakdowns like this one. We challenge conventional money wisdom with actual data. And tell me in the comments what's one area where you've been accepting average that you're going to change this week. I read every single response, and your answer might inspire the next video. The compound effect is always working. Make sure it's working for you.